Hey guys, on today's episode I'm going to show you how to make a quick and simple Alfredo sauce for your pasta. To get started on this, you want to go ahead and boil some milk, get it up to just below boiling, just pretty hot. Or what you could also do is you could leave it unattended for a few seconds and then let it overflow on the stove like I did. That adds a little bit of flavor to it, but ideally, you'd want to keep it all in there and not get it that hot. So, what you'll first want to do, like I said, heat up the milk. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of butter to this. That'll give it a nice fatty flavor into the sauce. Just add some kind of creaminess to it. So not too much butter. I'm just cutting off a few little pats, not too much, about like that. A couple of those in there. If you want extra fiber, you can always cut off some of the paper into that as well. So once you have some butter in there, you're going to want to go ahead and get a spoon, mix it up a little bit. Get the butter nice and melted in there. You can also, instead of, I'm using milk in this, but if you wanted to, you can also use heavy whipping cream. Either works. The heavy whipping cream obviously is a little creamier than the milk, but this is full fat vitamin D milk, so it does have a bit more cream in it. Next, we're just going to add some garlic powder to the whole thing. I like a lot of garlic powder. If you don't like as much, you don't have to add that much to it. Just your preference to taste. Next, we're going to add some Italian seasoning. I like this since it already is blended up. I don't have to worry about, putting in 7-8 different seasonings. They're just all already mixed into this. So this has, let's see what it's got in it. I know it has oregano, rosemary, things like that in it. Actually, it doesn't say what it's got in it. It just says Italian seasoning blend. Really, really helpful. Thanks for that. Next, we're going to add some onion powder. And again, just to taste, I like a lot of onion powder as well. So, once we got that in there, just going to mix it all together. I think the thing that you want to kind of go the heaviest on in this is the Italian seasoning. That, to me, that just gives it an excellent flavor. So next, what we're going to do, while we got that, let's turn up the heat a little bit on it. Turn the heat down to low once it started overflowing. So, but what you'll want to do is you want to keep it on high, get that milk nice and hot, or the cream, and then once it's almost to that boil, lower it down to like a medium heat. Keep it on there. Next, we're going to add some Parmesan cheese. This is grated. You can also just get the block of Parmesan cheese and shave some off. Obviously, the smaller the pieces, the faster it melts. So you're going to want to put quite a bit in there of that. If you're using another cheese like I actually am in this recipe, you can skimp on the Parmesan. You don't have to put as much in. Just kind of keep that mixing so it doesn't settle and doesn't stick to the bottom of your saucepan. So then what we're going to do is we're going to turn up the heat a little bit, speed up the process here. So I've got it on a 7 out of 10 currently, so slightly more than medium. Next, we're going to add some more cheese. So I always like to, in my Alfredo, I add not only Parmesan, but I also add another cheese. Usually that cheese is mozzarella. That's a really, really good base. Helps thicken up this sauce because right now the sauce is pretty much just milk. It's not, it's not really thick or anything. You can add thickener in it if you want. You can add cornstarch or flour, but that just kind of takes away some of the flavor. I do add a little bit of flour, but I'm not going to in this video because I don't have any on hand. So we're going to add Monterey Jack. This is decent flavor. It just adds a different different taste than what most people are used to with the Alfredo, but it's still an excellent Alfredo. Monterey Jack also is used in some Italian dishes. Most people don't really equate it to that, but even on the back of this, Italian flatbread. Nice little recipe there. So we're just going to add some more of this. I like a lot of cheese in the sauce. So once we have that, we've got that milk finally up to the right temperature. Should be that nice, like, little low boil. Not really not a lot, but again, we've got to make sure we mix this really good because that cheese is going to just kind of congeal and stick to the bottom if we don't keep it mixing. We want to turn this into a sauce, not a chunk of cheese covered in milk. So we're just going to kind of constantly keep this mixing. And then, after we do this, so you want it to kind of stick to that spoon like that. That shows it is thickening up. Let's turn this down since it's starting to boil again. Don't want it to overflow. Just going to scrape this cheese back off into here. So that's what you want. You want that nice layer of cheese that's just kind of mixing in with this sauce. It's going to be excellent. Go ahead at this point and just give it a taste. Actually, at this point, I'm also going to turn off the heat completely because the sauce is pretty much done. I'm going to add some more Italian seasoning. This needed some more. Like I said, it's just up to you guys, whatever you'd like. The only thing I would say that you can't really substitute in this would be the Parmesan cheese. Alfredo gets its flavor mainly from Parmesan. So, other than that, like I said, if you have a nice mozzarella you want to put in there, or a ricotta would even work, small amount. Monterey Jack, any of those white-based cheeses. Of course, not cheddar or anything like that, and then you'd have a weird-tasting queso. And then, obviously not Swiss either. Swiss would give it a odd flavor. But any of that would actually work. So, I'm just going to keep mixing this. Turn the heat back on to low. And then we're going to leave this sit for a little while, cook, and melt down some more of that cheese. And then we're going to have an excellent Alfredo sauce. Okay, guys, and all I did was, like I said, just let this boil back a little bit more. Just get that cheese nice and melted. And then once that cheese is melted and it's a good sauce consistency, you can go ahead and pour it directly on the pasta. And you have a wonderful Alfredo sauce, which tastes, like I said, tastes excellent. And I always like it with a lot of that cheese. I leave it where it's not too much of a sauce consistency, just because I like to top my pasta with cheese as well. Because you can never have too much cheese, unless you're lactose intolerant, and then your stomach just needs to grow up. So, thank you for tuning in to this one. This is how you make a nice, simple Alfredo sauce. Next time, we're going to teach you about thermodynamics and quantum physics. Thanks for tuning in.